Welcome to Lights on LA. I'm Louise Gill. We're here at the Glendale Police Department with Sergeant Gilkerson. Thank you so much for being here and helping me out.
Oh, my pleasure.
Today is the first day, I believe, of the WIC program, or is that something? What does WIC, first of all, stand for?
WIC is Week in Crime, and it is our program to bring the department together on a bi-weekly basis and share with them activity in the city and activity in the agency to try to bring everybody onto the same page for work, if you will.
Okay, and we will be in a little bit seeing a little bit about the meeting and how it's conducted. But before that, I wanted to ask you a few questions, if possible, about the predictive policing,
Sure.
if you can.
Yeah. Predictive policing basically is taking stats. It's taking historical data in our city for certain segments of town. We've broken the city into 5 geographic areas, each with a police manager that's in charge of overseeing that area. So we take historical data from those segments of town and look at them and try to establish a pattern where we can look into the future and say, based upon what we've seen in the past, I'll bet we're going to see this in the future.
Now, are the police officers are the ones that are doing the program, or do you have another agency that's helping you out?
You know, mostly it is our crime analysis unit. We have a very good crime analysis unit, very forward-thinking, very innovative. So they will take the data, put it together for us, for the area commanders, which is what the police managers are called, and the patrol supervisors to put together and look at and distribute to the officers so that they know, hopefully, where they should be and when they should be there.
What is the time frame as far as the to report and to know? Is it on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, monthly?
You mean for the predictive policing?
Right.
We can reach back years for statistics to put those things together to try to establish patterns. So that's, and then some of those patterns may be put out at our Week in Crime meeting, which lets other people in the agency know what we're working on and what's important at the time.
What is the benefit to have the WIC program or the policy, the policing?
There are a couple of benefits. Number one is it lets everybody in the agency know, because the people from the chief's office and our commanders upstairs, right on down through the detective bureau and through the patrol level and our traffic bureau, civilian managers, they all come to the Week in Crime meeting. So they all understand what the priorities are for that current time period. And so they can work to support us in our objectives, trying to meet the needs of the community. And so all that information comes out at Week in Crime. It's also a way for everyone to stay fresh and to stay focused on what we're working on and to kind of keep them motivated, because they know at the next Week in Crime meeting, they want to report progress, accomplishments.
Now, does the progress or any of the reports go to the public for our community to find out, where the problems are?
You know, we have a great program called crimemapping.com. It's on the internet. You can go to that crimemapping.com site, so select Glendale, and then see where we have taken data over the last day, so 24 hours ago, within the last 24 hours, we've taken data and put it on there so you can look at pins on a map, click on them like any other interactive map, and see what and approximately where activity has occurred. Yes, so.
Well, that is a wonderful program, and I'm sure it benefits the citizens of Glendale and makes it a way better, safer place to live.
This city has enjoyed great safety ratings for decades. And part of that is the aggressiveness of this police department in trying to make sure that things don't go out of control when they first become noticeable. The other part of that success is the community's interest and their participation in policing this city with us in a partnership. So being able to share information on crime mapping keeps people informed, and they know what we're looking at, what we're looking for, and those people who care enough to go on and see and research are able to better partner with us. Eyes and ears, that's what we're talking about.
Very true. Very true. It's our community that basically will help you as well as your department helping us solve the crime. Thank you so much for for letting us have this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to the WIC meeting, which will be coming up soon. Welcome to Lights on LA. I'm Louise Gill, your host. I'm really honored today that I have the privilege of interviewing our wonderful chief of Glendale, the city of Glendale, Chief Ronald DePompa. Thank you for having us here.
It's a pleasure to have you here. We're excited to show you what we do in our weekend crime meetings. This is something that we started several years ago, and the purpose is to share information on crime trends that are happening in Glendale. So the entire department is aware of what's happening, and they can start formulating strategies to deal with it.
That is a wonderful program. Now, when you say staff, you mean the command staff, or who participates in the weekend crime?
And that's a very good question. It's actually what we call a vertical staff meeting, which means from the top command staff all the way down to the line level officers are involved, and everybody participates in sharing information and developing strategies for how to address crime trends that are popping up. So it really involves the entire cross-section of the department.
Was this under your administration, or has this program been implemented many years ago? Or
No, this is actually something that my staff started, and it's part of our area command model, and that is dividing the city into geographic areas that are the responsibility of a specific commander. And they need to know exactly what's happening in their areas. So this process was born out of the area command reorganization, and it allows the commanders to share information about their individual areas.
one more question. I know that we're going to begin the WIC meeting. How does it benefit the community?
Well, one of the main strategies that we utilize is community partnerships. So we can't do it by ourselves. We need the eyes and ears of the community to assist us. And to that end, they need to know what's going on as well. So when we share information between the area commanders and the department personnel, the next step is to bring then that information out to the neighborhoods, the business community, the various entities in the community that will work with us in solving these problems and addressing the issues.
Thank you so much again, and thank you for allowing me to participate in the WIC meeting. Thank you.
For being here.
Who sold this to you? They said a shop Shishi, and that he comes in several times a day and sells us copper. So.
And I haven't been able to talk to Kevin about this, but I don't know. Hopefully, they can maybe work him up for a warrant based on that. But these for RSP. But also, I sent the thing out to the list of command officers to keep an eye out for and see if we can give. Also, going to send an officer over to the recycling place.
No, nice work by everybody. It's obvious you're doing a great job.
Thank you, everybody.
I would like to thank the following sponsors: Harvard Home Health in the city of Glendale and Hospice of St. Mary, city of Simi Valley. Welcome to Lights on LA. I'm your host, Louise Gill. I am extremely happy and excited that today we will be going on a ride-along for the city of Glendale in a sergeant's vehicle with an Armenian officer, Officer Solomon. Thank you for taking us, and thank you for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Could you let us know a little bit about what we're going to do?
Sure. My pleasure to have you here. We're very happy that you're here. Today we're going to go out on a ride-along. We're going to see how things are from the perspective of a police officer in patrol. We're going to respond to calls. We're going to make traffic enforcement stops, and anything else that happens. You never know. It's very unpredictable at times.
Well, hopefully it'll be interesting, and we'll have some nice footage, and it'll be nice that the viewers could see a different perspective of law enforcement and policing in Glendale, and how you do stops and what you look for as violations. If you could also let us know how you do the violations, what do you look for? We are actually in the sergeant's vehicle, and we are looking at a monitor, and this is the MDT as I used to call it. Now it's called
The MDC.
MDC.
mobile digital computer, and it basically tells us everything we want to know. Եթե մեքենայի հետ են գեցում license plate կարան կանցածն են գստե, եւ մեզ կասի ով է registered owner-ը, կասի expiration-ը եւ registration-ի համար. Also, եթե մետեն մեզ ուղարկելու կասի որտեղ թանկ ինչա պատահում ու մի հետ պիտի կապվենք որ կարողանանք օգնել իրանց. So ինչ որ բանկա որ մենք պիտի իմանանք police-ների համար, ստեղ ցույց կտա մեզի.
And how do you rate the calls if you have, like, let's say 5 calls? What becomes priority?
Dispatch does that for us. They prioritize the calls as necessary. So obviously, something that's more of a crime, that's a crime against a person, such as an assault, a type of crime where someone can get hurt, is going to take priority over a property crime. It just depends on what the dispatcher sends us to.
Majority of the calls that you go to, let's say on a I believe you're on a day shift, would be like what? What would be a normal day for you as far as calls or your daily routine?
During the day, you get a lot of traffic-related calls because there's so much traffic in the city during the business hours. Accidents are very common, so we'll get a lot of accidents. We have a traffic unit which specifically handles all the traffic accidents and collisions. They go to most of them, but whatever they can't go to, patrol will augment that and also help out.
When you're looking at a vehicle and you're driving and you're obviously checking the license plates and everything comes out normal, let's say they're speeding, hypothetically speaking, what is a routine that you would do? And what do you see what is the reaction that you mostly get? And correct me if there is something that I ask and you're not allowed to say, you're more than welcome to say I can't say.
We're trained in seeing a lot of different things. And being on the street for 12 hours at a time, you see a lot of things. So when something isn't normal, or you're not used to seeing it, it stands out for you. Traffic-wise, if you see someone speeding, obviously it's an easy one. But like someone weaving in and out of traffic, just driving a little aggressively compared to the other cars, that definitely stands out for us. There's all these myths about a red car gets more tickets and that's not true. The car.
Funny, I was just going to ask you about that.
No, that doesn't have anything to do with it, in all honesty. Not for me. And it's just you see a lot of just odd driving behaviors, and that's what draws my attention to the car.
Now, when you do pull over, what is the procedure and what do you come across? Any negativity? Is there any... what could the community do that would be able to not result to a ticket or the violations being served?
The first thing obviously is don't do something wrong to get pulled over. And the common feeling from people that get pulled over, no one likes to get pulled over, no one likes to get tickets, and we understand that. And we don't really like to give tickets either, especially in the economy the way it is. But that's our job, is to enforce the laws. We try to use our own discretion as much as we can. And coming across a person who's cooperative, who understands the mistake that they made, who versus someone that's non-cooperative, rude, and doesn't have a clue as to why we even stopped them in the first place, that helps us determine whether or not the person is going to receive the citation.
There has always been a myth out there, and correct me if it's wrong, but they always say there is a quota, that the city always makes their money from tickets. And yes, the officers are out there to basically give out more tickets because it's money to the city. Do you have a quota?
No, Cheskaro quota on us. It's Orenkner Chitonum, where it's a quota on us.
We just did a traffic stop, and obviously, if anybody noticed that he literally cut in front of you, now what happened?
Well, the gentleman that's driving the vehicle, he is a doctor, and he